Hi, I moved to London. So the purpose of this YouTube channel is originally to get information out about stuff that I think like could be valuable to other people, but also because I wanted to improve my video editing skills. But then like time wise, I kept on procrastinating, doing my video editing, and then like now we have content that just hasn't gone up and it's just sitting in my PC. Actually, I lost a hard drive, which also had like stuff. So I'm very annoyed. Anyways, so I moved to London. I just wanted to like talk about some of the things that were like super useful, valuable to me. One of which is the airport. So I left Namibia. I needed to have a COVID test done within 72 hours of departure. That was chilled. Yeah, that was chilled. But they didn't ask for it at the airport, like anywhere along the route, which was sad, but it's good for me to know. Another thing I kept in mind is that, like mask wise, you could have like a surgical mask or a cloth mask, or like some people just wear like scarves and whatnot. But for the airport, I was like straight up wearing an N95, the proper deal, because I just didn't want to risk it. A funny thing we're actually speaking about in planes is that when everyone takes off their mask to eat, then like technically like all the chocolates, but so then ideally like you would wait until everyone's done eating and then you start eating, but like my needs were pressing, so I just ate. But like thankfully here I am. Something else, I guess, was that I hadn't eaten breakfast, so I asked the air hostess if I could have an extra plate, and that was quite nice of her. She did give me an extra plate. I appreciated that very much. So shout out to you over there. Like you're definitely not watching this, but I just thought it was really nice. Um, yeah, yeah. Other than that, just like if it's your first time traveling internationally, just read the signs. Don't look too lost in the airport, I feel, because in general just don't look too lost. I do think that it like makes you a target. It's just my personal fear of being targeted in life, but yeah, but the signs are pretty clear, transit flights or like exit airport or whatever. Sometimes they're like in that language and the other and English, so I transferred, yeah, through Germany. Frankfurt, those people. Once in like 2017, they like searched my afro, and it made me like so touched. But it is what it is. They were like all up in there massaging it. But this time around, they just, what did we do? It was like they like patted me down, which was also an awkward experience. Like she was like, hold your leg up, pew, 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 pew. Take off your shoes. I was just like, this is quite a lot. So I think they're just intense in general. But in general, airport security has never loved me. Once in Ortambo, like I don't even know what was going on. I wasn't wearing a belt or anything, but like scanners were just like going off in the area, and then like I had to like go into like a room and strip. It's very sad. But anyways, this is why you should always be on time for the airport, for check-in, for boarding, whatever. You know what I'm saying. So that's that on the airport. I think so. I left the airport by Uber. My plan was to take a train or a bus because that's cheaper. However, I arrived at like 11 p.m. slash midnight, and I was just, and like my suitcase backstabbed me, which is my fault because I bought a suitcase from Chinatown and whatever. But it like straight up backstabbed me, and I just couldn't do that heavy lifting at night, and I was tired. So I just took an Uber, ridiculously expensive. If you do know people in London, definitely call your friends up. I also stayed in an Airbnb for the same reason that I didn't know people. Um, and you have to anyways like fill in like a passenger locator form to show where you're going to be for the 14 days of self-isolation. You're not allowed to move accommodation during that time, not like go out for food and stuff. So like relying on deliveries, whatever. So I picked an Airbnb. Things I filtered for was Wi-Fi, obviously, because it is now life. There's water, really. Wi-Fi, a kitchen, because I thought I was gonna cook, but I like a kitchen. Oh, weirdly, like when I was on the site filtering, some places were just like, yeah, you have the room, but like no access to other communal spaces. I was just like, what? Rude. But yeah, that's a thing. What else did I filter for? Wi-Fi, kitchen, and heating, I think. No, price. Price. Yeah, that was the most important thing that I filtered for. Yeah, I think from what I remember, it was, yeah. Um, the cheapest, I'd say, in London from Airbnb were these like hostels. These ones, these backpacker vibes where you're like 6 beds in a room. Yeah, but I didn't want to do that thing because I have suitcases and my whole life in those two suitcases. And yeah, I just, no. So I got my own place. Not my own place, a room in someone else's place in Streatham. It was nice. Not too far. But also, like, you don't need to be central London if you're not going to be going anywhere for like 14 days. So you might as well take a cheap place, I feel. Um, I also then made sure to book it for 17 days. So the plan was 14 days in isolation, and then the last 3 days I'd go out and view places. You could obviously just like sort out your accommodation from the get go. A lot of people do that. I wanted to find private accommodation, which I'll speak about in a bit. But I then, for that reason, wanted to view the places first. So I thought I'd just like sort that out when I get here. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's it on transport. Yeah, got an Uber, got home. Yeah, it's nice, quite nice. Cool. So on to transport. Transport, no, on to accommodation. Accommodation has been a very shocking journey. I guess like, so I use Spare Room for my search, and this Facebook group called People of Color in London. Like another girl in my school like recommended it to me, whatever. So that's where I got most of my viewings from. It was really cool those like first 3 days out of self isolation because I made sure to go like everywhere, everywhere. I was like in the north, the south, the east, the west of London. It was like crazy. And then there I was filtering obviously for price. So um, my rent is, well, my cap was 47% of my current income. Yeah. Which is like pricey. Like in Namibia, I feel like the cap should always be like not more than a third and whatnot. But they say accommodation's pricey here. And I didn't want to live in like the cheapest of cheap in a country I don't know just because like I don't know how safety is like here. So what I didn't know. Thus far it looks okay. But it feels okay. I don't know. Um yeah, but I know people staying in like way pricier places, like places that are like 200 and something pounds per week, like especially student accommodation places. And then they like and like a funny thing, like side thing is like this one YouTuber is like take a place that's per month, not per week, because some months have 5 weeks, but like at the end of the day we're looking at 52 weeks a year, so it shouldn't actually matter. But it was like shocking how much more expensive student accommodation is, excuse me, because it's nice in the sense that you get there, everything's sorted, you don't have to think about bills or like contracts or like anything really, you just like live. But and then there's obviously like additional some prices, like let's say it's 200 for like a twin room, let's say, or a single room, whatever, and then like 220 if you want your own bathroom and 250 if you want your own kitchen and like kitchenette. stuff like that. But I was just not prepared to pay those prices because that comes to a lot of money. It comes to like 62% of your income. And I did speak to some people. Um, I spoke to some people that are on the same scholarship or a similar scholarship that has like the same amount of money, stipend wise. And I spoke to them about, how did you pick your places, etc., etc. And um, some stay in that place with the 62%. And and interestingly, like you can see differences in like the standard of living, I guess, that some people are used to. One girl was like, yeah, no, I'm prepared to pay the extra mile for like my own bathroom, my own kitchen. Like I don't want to like mix with anyone. In some places, and like another girl was like, I had to like constantly top up with my own income from home, and I was just like, and someone else was just like, nah, like I stayed in the same place. I mean, she didn't do the own bathroom, own kitchen stuff, but like for her it was fine. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then another friend was just like, listen, man, don't do that thing. Rather get private accommodation. It's way cheaper, and you have more flexibility. So that's what I did. And then I decided that, I'll sort that out. Because I was also really nervous about paying a deposit while you're still at home. And then you get here and then Hanakam, you're scammed. The place doesn't exist, number one. Or it's just not as nice as it looks like in the photos or the video, or whatever. So preferably you'd know someone in London that can view the place then for you, like physically, or that can, or like someone that can vouch for it, like maybe like a classmate of yours, a future classmate of yours, whatever at the time lives there, or like something like that. But those were just risks I was unwilling to take at the time. Obviously, with COVID, it was a bit harder to do viewings, but some places, like, you can do a video viewing first and just chat to the people, and then, like, based on that, decide whether it's worth actually coming in person. And then, like, appropriate social distancing and wear a mask and all these things. But yeah, I decided to come find my place. So I viewed, like, north, south, west, everywhere. North, south, west, east of London. That was quite cool because it was also an opportunity for me to like just be all about the train and bus system and like figure out how to get places in general. And yeah, so another casual thing is like the difference between renting with a private landlord and an agency. Agencies do like a full reference check, like full official, like passport, what, income, bank, what, school verification. Like this one person like emailed my school to confirm whether I'm a student, and I was just like, and then the school was like, oh yeah, she needs to sign like a data release form because we can't release information about our students to third parties. And I'm like, the fact that you're responding, that I have to respond, is clearly that I'm a student here, and you just need like, I'm a student, man. I'm not here on dodgy purposes. I have a visa and whatnot. But yeah, that was a very stressful thing. And also just I guess in contrast to Namibia, where like, yeah, reference checks are not like a big deal. But I also I guess understand it. Some private landlords also do reference checks, but perhaps it's just more informal. Like one just asked me about like my income and where I school and like things like that. And I sent her documentation that I had, but not like waiting for the school to confirm it. So that. Um, yeah, but in general, I opted to go with a private landlord, and really nice place. I like the area. So I think that my criteria when I was viewing was stuff like, do I like the area, the neighborhood? Is there stuff to like do in the neighborhood? Like if you know what church you're gonna be attending, is there a church close by, or that specific church? Are there supermarkets close by? Are there like places where you can get like fresh produce or whatever close by? Like whatever is a priority to you. Green, can you see the sun from your window? Um, Pubs, other social things, markets, whatever. Um, yeah, stuff like that. Like I don't like cold apartment block building things, so I like made sure to try and get like these cute little Victorian houses. So cute. So that's where I'm staying now. That's really nice. Other criteria was on heating because me and the cold are not. So I had to. So I asked about heating, which is cool. My room has a radiator. And then also like what sort of furniture comes with the room, like whether you'd have to find your own desk, your own chair, or whatever, or whether it like comes with stuff. You see, me and my stuff, wardrobe, you know. Another important thing to me was living room, because it's not nice to just be in your room the whole time. Some places don't have living rooms. A lot of places actually convert their living room into another bathroom, another bedroom. And then you're like always like, yeah, then like even if you want to speak to people, you have to speak in their rooms. It's just like, oh. If you have people over, they must go straight to your room. So that was a priority for me. Um, Also, the bathroom, how many people are sharing the bathroom? What does it look like? Is it already like super messy, or is it like, nga? The kitchen, how many people share the kitchen? Are there two fridges? Because, fridge space is like ridiculous. Yeah, that was a thing, the fridge space. And then also also just like, also water pressure, because the Airbnb has set the water pressure, like the water would come out like it's like dying. It was like, or like, it was just sad. I don't want to say the water was dying, but it was just sad. Like, I like to shower with like strong water, like hitting you. It must be like hot. So I was just like, so I asked some people, and it's really nice if you get to speak to the actual tenants, i.e., your potential housemates, as opposed to just the agent, for instance, or just the landlord, because then you can ask people questions like that. This one place I checked out, this one place was like, um, in the house rules thing, it was like no one may enter the kitchen between 10 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. And I was just like, what must happen if I'm hungry at night? So that was really stressful, for instance. And, I brought it up with the landlord even, like, so, like, for real, like, people don't eat after 11. And then, like, they all looked like, why would anyone be up after 11? And that's when I was like, you know what? Yeah, I don't think, not to say, like, that 11 o'clock is my best time, but I definitely still eat. Like, at 11, I'm sometimes making decisions about what to go cook, So, what if I'm awake and hungry? Like, now I must stop. So that also, like, people's preferences, like if you're living, for instance, with people that are vegan, vegetarian, are they just like personally, or like completely opposed to seeing meat? And because it just brings like unnecessary animosity, I feel, to like, now you must hide your meat or something, or like they must like sit outside when you're cooking meat. Like, it's just don't do that thing, I feel. I think a last thing would be like religion. And I only say this because I just noticed it in some of the spare room posts. This one person that posted an ad said that they would prefer to live with females because they don't want to have to wear their hijab like after hours in the evening and whatnot, which makes all the sense to me, honestly. Yeah, so stuff like that. I think like even on the male female thing, like I definitely like scratched out all the places where I found like two males, full stop. Then I must be like the third person. That no, I just I don't want that life for myself. And then someone said no to me because they were trying to maintain a gender balance. Like, there were already three females in the house and one guy, and then they didn't want to like add another guy. They wanted to have like at least two guys to three females. So it's also a thing. I guess also like the last super important thing is just distance from the city center, or distance from your school, or like whatever you're here to do. There are zones in London, like city center zone 1, and the zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, up to zone 6 is where some transport links go, but there's actually up until zone 8, of which I think there are fewer transport links. So Also depending on whether you plan to like cycle or like walk or whatever. Um, that's also like a thing. Um, I, for instance, because it's online first semester anyway, oh, I'm currently online anyways, I didn't mind staying a bit further from city center, like an average sort of further, but also like reasonably, not like zone 6 or whatever. Um, so, but it is also cheaper the more further you are. But then obviously then your transport costs are higher, and then also your transport time is higher because like you'll be like in the train for like 2 hours now. And then also just like how close you are to a train station or bus stop at the very least. Yeah, yeah. I'll make like a separate video on transport, but in general, I think those are the things. So I found a place. I like it. It's cute. Um, my landlord is really cool. She gave me like a table, a lamp, a chair. There's a wardrobe. There's a bed. Um, I have a nice light. Um, my housemates are cool. Yeah, can't remember what else. But I like the place, and this will be my home for the considerable future. So, oh wait, sorry. A last thing. Some contracts, some accommodation contracts will be for a set time, so from January to like December, and like set. And if you decide to leave before then, you have to find someone else to take over your tenancy, which was like super stressful to see. Because like in Namibia, for instance, you just, if you're leaving, like you give your 1 month notice and you chip. Some people don't even give their 1 month notice. I don't know why people do that. I guess it depends on like how much your deposit was and if you didn't pay a deposit. But like, you give your notice so you get your deposit, then you can move out nicely. Some people just like, but here some contracts are very fixed. So some places, some of the people posting on spare room are people that want you to take over their their tenancy, tenancy, yeah, because I personally think it's just the agency or landlord being lazy. Like they don't want to have to look for new people, so they give the job of finding someone else for that time period yours, like it's your job. But it's also just like, man, I don't know people. Now I'm here on spare room trying to convince someone to take over my room. It's just so high. So keep that in mind. Like read your contract when you sign it and when you get it. And I hope this is valuable. I think a lot of people will be moving like January since first semester's online. So a lot of people plan to move December, January. I wish you the best. Wish you the best.